Yeah. uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CCs, pounds. Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of, liters of, grams, get your dosed up, cut this up and post up, and get dosed up. This for them vote, they like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I drew the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up. Close up, close up. Now close up, grams of it. Tune in, liters of it, close up. Pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters up, pounds, get your dosed up, dosed up,
Dosed up.
dosed up,
Dosed up. Yeah.
get dosed up.
Hey, it's another Monday night, 8 o'clock. I'm Dose. I got Lab in the background as usual.
That's right.
And the show is Dosed Up.
That's right. I couldn't get them echoes going. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
On the
yeah.
echoes, I feel like I need to do that again.
I
need
mean,
to echo
if-
it again.
If you
because
can, I
if
mean,
the
you know.
echo just didn't come out right.
Grams of it.
There we go.
Tune liters
Yeah.
of it,
And I didn't even get no
pounds
bomb,
of
no
it,
effects, no nothing.
pounds of it.
Nope.
Nope,
grams
nope.
of it,
We gotta
liters
echo it,
of
all people
pounds,
tune
get
in.
you dosed up, dosed up,
Dosed up.
Dosed up.
It won't echo. It won't echo the
get
tape.
dosed up.
Hold on. One more time for the
Okay,
one time.
turntable.
Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of pounds, get you dosed up, dosed up, dosed up.
There we go. There we go. There, hold on.
Quick little show of some DJ skills. Y'all heard that turntable. Exactly. You know, it's another Monday night, 8
That's right.
o'clock though. You know, weekend recap real quick. Just kind of smooth and laid back. You know,
Oh, okay.
I had some work to do.
Uh-huh.
I actually had someone that I was training at work.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know,
So you getting into the train? Oh, you train at work? Okay.
yeah, at work. Yeah,
I'm getting the two cross. My bad.
And
my
so,
bad.
you know, after that, you know, I just chilled. I don't too much go out. You know what I'm saying? And do too many things on weekends that I work. I do a little exercising or something like that. Just get my mind right, man. I'm trying to get this momentum together because I know what I want to accomplish in the future. So that's really what I be doing sometimes in my downtime.
Okay. So you just worked the weekend, so you ain't had no missions that you was on, no movie shooting, no skit shooting, no
none of that,
movie
none of that,
set
none
at
of
your
that.
house, or none of that going on this weekend, huh?
I got the plans for that, you know what I'm saying, but nah, none of that going on. Just actually in your driveway though, got out the phone with one of my producers. Shout out to Beat Burner. You know.
Okay.
And we supposed to really be getting a package together, but you know, since Slick was like, you need to go ahead and do something. So yeah, I want him to send me something so I can start working on music and intertwine that in with the skits and everything else I'm doing.
Right.
I already made up in my mind that at least, you know, around September, or I'm gonna take my time. I'm slow roasting these things, man, because I know I'm actually gonna start seeing them come to a means and an end. So it's no more pressure or rush no more. Ain't no stress and no worrying. It's okay, when I get it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I already know like half of what I need is already done, like the hardest parts.
Right.
So it's like just putting the pieces to the puzzle together.
Okay. So that's what's up. I know y'all probably hear the fans in the background. Sometimes we get a little warm down here, so we have to cross check the fans. I had to buy a new fan on Sunday because it was just kind of warm down here. We had a lot of people down here on the the Real Atlanta podcast. So, but it feels pretty cool down here right now. There are two
Yeah,
fans on
man,
each
feel
end
aired
of
out
the
down here,
podcast
you know.
studio. It feels real good. We gonna get the air conditioning. We got one. We just gotta get it put in. But anyway,
Okay, yeah. I don't be complaining. I don't see no sweat coming off.
right. Now you don't be complaining, but sometimes when you like with your phone up, they can hear that fan in the background.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, if you cut it off, I don't think it would bother me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But, you know,
Gotta make you comfortable so you can
I
get all this good
appreciate
information
that.
out.
I appreciate that. You know, I just been thinking a lot. So I think the topic of the day, because I kind of heard something on TV that I talked. You know, we were talking offline, but I'm gonna get to that a little bit later after I get to this. But yeah, just trust, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking a lot about who we kind of are, how we've been perceived, but we never get into, do we trust people that we're around? Do we even trust ourselves? So like, just the definition of trust to start off with is like the firm reliability or truth and ability or strength of something. So basically it's kind of like you standing on business for something. 10 toes down, you believe something. I mean, you trust it. A lot of times you trust things to be true that have been presented to you, maybe from other people or from certain sources.
Right.
But we, you know, after diving into what I got cooking, you know, we'll look at trust a little bit differently. Because I know I had all this stuff already kind of prepared, and then just talking to you, getting together. I mean, you came from some angles, you know.
Right.
So this is gonna be interesting. But first, I would just say, like, man, who do we trust, or who do you trust? You have like some people we trust, like our family members. I know I can trust, you know, my immediate family, like my brother.
Did you get a definition of trust?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you did because I'm reading and I'm like, well, that sounds like what he just said. Okay.
And you know, like I say, man, some people in gangs. I don't know if you trust your gang, but you know, do you trust your pastor and your congregation if you really deep into your church and your religion? And if you're in a group, do you trust the members of your group? Could be sometimes, like when I say groups, it could be a support group, like an Alcohol Anonymous group. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Do you trust the people in there? Do you trust your spouse? If you married or if you're in a relationship, do you trust your lawyer if you got one, your doctor, accountant, or manager? But, you know, now that I rattle off of that, you know, those like, well, who do you trust?
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, man, well, why do you trust some of these people, you know, whoever you do trust?
You know, one thing for us is that we trust certain things. Like we don't put much trust in our partnership, our relationship with our spouse sometimes, but we trust that the guy at the restaurant gonna cook our food properly, or he's not gonna do nothing to mess up our food. See, we trust these things, but we don't trust other things. And sometimes sometimes we blindly just trust. We just blindly trust that this is gonna be done that way because it always has been done that way. But we don't even know if the way that it's been done all the time was even the right way. We just trusted that's the process.
If I look at it like, if I can't trust my spouse, I don't really need to be in that relationship.
Right.
Because then it's going to be either manipulation being done, something intentionally being done, you know, or you're going to be worried, stressed, or always looking over your shoulder thinking about something that's going to make the relationship, you know what I'm saying, back and forth. So no, man, I don't even get how people can be in a relationship where it's not 100%. I trust they got my best interests in mind. Like I can vouch for them when I'm not around. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna throw this monkey wrench into your thought process.
Go ahead.
Just because they haven't given you a reason to not trust them, or you're in a relationship because you do trust them, don't mean that something hasn't been done that you shouldn't trust them for.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? You just haven't found out about it yet. Sometimes it's just a matter of turning the knobs and
but this is the thing.
dotting the T's.
But that's the thing where then some of that will be on you because you're looking for what you kind of like trying to bring it on.
No,
it's like,
not
all
necessarily.
right, so you know how sometimes, okay, let's say you in a relationship with someone, and you straight up loyal and you're not cheating, and they be like, I know you cheating on me, I know you cheating on me, and they keep looking through your phone, stressing you out about it, and you're not, and you keep having to say you not, right? Is that gonna make your relationship good? First of all,
not necessarily.
All right, so now what'll happen is at some point you eventually might, because that's negative energies that she could be inviting on you. You wouldn't?
No, because if it's just a case of that, if that's the case, I wouldn't do something just to prove a point. Okay. I'm not going to just cheat on you because you're accusing me of it. I need to actually. This is where we fuck up as people. If that person is accusing us of doing something, we gotta sit back and look and see what we may be doing to cause this thought. Because all accusations are not just blind accusations. If it's a case of where you and her used to go out together, then all of a sudden you stop taking her and you start doing it by yourself, that might be an issue. You get what I'm saying?
So it needs to be addressed.
It needs to be something you need to internalize it first. Okay. If you can't find anything, then it's probably time to move on from that relationship. But I would never just be like, oh, she accused me of cheating, I might well go on cheat. Because I think that's a simple way of thinking. I think that's a simple-minded person who thinks like that, to be honest with you.
It's sometimes what she's wishing will start coming your way. It doesn't necessarily mean
and that's
you
when
have
it's time
to do
for you
it.
to go, because if you're thinking that you're going to do it, why would you want to hurt someone just because they're accusing you of something that you wouldn't want to be hurt of? You know what I'm saying? You would. I try my best not to do things to people that I wouldn't want done to me. So my thing is, if I'm getting accused of it, if I internalize and don't find anything that I'm doing wrong, we still doing everything we normally would do it together as a band, group, or duo. Then there's something wrong with that person, and I need to move on. I'm not gonna say, you know what? She called me. She telling me I'm cheating. Let me go ahead and prove her right.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? How?
No, exactly. I mean, now, no, but it's sometimes they've kind of all right though, and someone is actually cheating,
right?
But they don't admit to it, you know. But they still want that person's trust,
right?
And I think that'll actually backfire. But one thing I'd like to know then, like, what's one of the beliefs you like, something that you trust in?
My intuition.
Damn. All right, that's about the same thing I was finna say. And that's one of the things that's later on. Since he said that, I might as well get to this. We're going to talk about that later on. But do you trust your instincts or your intuition? What up, Furious? And yeah, you should. But then there's a flip twist to that. Like, has there been a time where either you trusted it and it was wrong?
I don't want to sound arrogant, but no.
Because and I get it.
Because I try to internalize these things as much as possible, and I know me. Like I told you before, a couple shows back, I could mess up my own day, so I got to sit back and think about these things and analyze them and say to myself, this might be just a feeling, and give time to play out. And then if it keeps coming back, it's got to be something there.
Sometimes what I don't like is when I may have intuition at a bad moment. Okay. Like, let's say if I'm anxious and stressed, and then I got some intuition going on with it, then I might gamble with it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's just say like, the bus supposed to come at this time or something, but if I do this, I think I might, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Right. And boom. But not necessarily on something that's like negative or I know harmful, because then you go with intuition every time regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sidestepping things. All right, I like that. So now it is, what do we trust people with? Do you trust people with money? You trust people with your secrets? You trust them with some responsibilities? And I think if you're definitely in a relationship, like with a spouse that you're committed with, there's definitely gonna have to be some trust with some responsibilities there.
I think there's a varying degrees of who you trust with what.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't trust. Like if you had a child, there's certain people you're not gonna trust that child with. Not because they've done anything, it's just because you're protective.
Yeah.
There's certain people you're not gonna trust your money with. And this could be family members.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that's not family members that you might trust your money. You get what I'm saying?
But think about it. You trust the bank to a degree, but you have to.
But I mean.
But that's what we were talking about.
The reason why we trust the bank, because we get that FDIC on the bank, and we're trusting that our money will be secured at this place of business, and if it gets lost, we'll get it back. That's the only way we trust it.
Yeah, but technically, they can just take our money to it.
Right. They can just take the money and close the bank and say, bankruptcy or whatever.
But I get you. Like, yeah, it's some family members you can't even trust with money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a
You got to be really selective with that.
Right.
For sure. What about like your secrets or
secrets? I don't trust anybody with my secrets.
I feel you.
I believe secrets are one of them things they can hold for ransom. Like, I don't trust anybody with my secrets. I try my best to keep to myself, and that's one of keep those secrets to me. I'm not even a gossiping type person.
I don't know, but when I say secrets, I mean like shit that you do that, or something that you may do that you just don't particularly care for anyone else to know.
Nope.
It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It doesn't have to be positive. What if it? I mean, but a secret, if it's something that you don't want nobody to know. Is it something you're ashamed of, or you just don't want nobody to know?
It doesn't. It could be either for me. Okay. I'm just not gonna tell
it. I got you. It's a secret. It's your shit.
It's me.
I feel you.
And I feel
like
I don't
and
know.
You have every right to keep it. That's
right,
what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, you have every right to not trust a person with everything about you.
Right.
You know?
Like I have best friends.
Then you have no identity almost.
That I grew up with from the shoot. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff I haven't told him. So I wouldn't trust. I don't think I would trust anybody with my secrets. They're just mine.
Okay.
And I need to keep them close to the vest.
Bet that up. Like I don't really have too much secrets like that now. You know what I'm saying? It just might be some none of your business.
Right.
But
right.
Some people might know, some people don't. But I'm with you on that. The ones I do have, if I feel like it's like y'all nobody need to know this. But I'm getting to the point now where, like I say, I ain't trying to do nothing that can't be, the light can't shine on.
I'm gonna give you a good example.
Mm-hmm.
With somebody like me, I'm not a prying person.
Pry.
Oh
yeah. I don't either.
So if you're sick and I call you up and say, hey, you good? You okay? How you feeling? And if you don't delve into what's wrong, what's going on, I'm not going to ask you. Now, some people say that's not caring, but I'm just not that type of person, because I feel like if Dose want me to know what's going on with him, Dose is going to volunteer that information to me.
Now, it's funny you said that, because depending on who I trust, my answers vary.
See?
Because a lot of times when I might hit somebody up and they may be like, I'm like, what's up, man? Oh, man, I've been sick, man. I just got out the hospital. They gave me something that made me shit. Right. And I be saying to myself, damn, bro, I ain't really want to hear all of this. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You done made me visualize. And I got a hole in my stomach this big, bro. I got to wear it back. And I just be like, now I just get quiet.
But he felt safe telling you this.
I mean, it seemed like he'll tell anybody that called him this. Seriously. But I just so happen to hear it, and I'll just be like, I wouldn't do that to that person. So, because I would think if you called me and I was telling you some specifics or something, like, I would be like, am I dumping too much on,
exactly.
So, but now if it's my brother or something, it's different. Or somebody, my day one, somebody I've known since middle school, I might tell them something that they can learn. You see what I'm saying? I might, man, boy, whatever you do, don't eat this, man, because I had to have surgery for it. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And keep it moving.
Right.
And, but other than that, you say you be keeping it to myself.
Right.
All right, so how do we gain trust? And we were saying offline, pretty much, I go by a person's actions a lot, and then it's got to be some time and some consistency with these actions as well. And even then, it depends on what their strengths and weaknesses are, from what I can see, like, or what is beneficial about the relationship, on what I'm gonna trust them with.
Right.
Because you don't have to trust certain people with everything anyway. It just might be like, yeah, man, I trust that you gonna get my photo shoot proper, done right. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be doing business like this, or I trust that you'll put the order in for me when I need this and that, things like that. But it's like you say, we ain't gonna be talking about nothing personal, maybe.
Right.
But you can trust them when it comes to that business. You see what I'm saying? When you got a homeboy that you can trust with some secret damn near, but you can't trust him on business. See what I'm saying? So it worked like that sometimes in life with trust.
And sometimes you have to put your trust in several different people for several different things at several different times in your life. I mean, it's just, trust is a very hard thing to gain and very easy to lose. You get what I'm saying? It's like time.
And it's funny
It's
because
a commodity.
yeah, it is. It is. And so if we both agreeing on that, then you know what I'm saying, as far as actions and time, then that means we're not really falling for word. But some people put their trust in maybe some things that they might not be able to see, or they haven't acquired yet, or they haven't seen yet within a person. Like they may just be like, well, I trust this person simply because this person can be around them and give them the attention, but they really don't even know what that person really be about.
I mean, you got people who trust people that they barely know, that this person got money and they gonna do this and they gonna if I get them $10,000, they gonna give me $20,000 back. It's just I gotta wait 30 days and stuff like that, and they give them the $10,000 and don't see them no more. I mean, there's varying degrees of trust. Some people are more trustworthy than others, and I have to admit that I'm not very trustworthy at all.
Okay.
I don't trust people at all. Trustworthy, I'm pretty much. You can trust me on a lot of stuff because I'm just not a gossiper. I don't delve into anybody's personal information. But I have a hard time trusting people in general. I'm always looking for the flip side of this coin.
But you did answer my question. My next question I was gonna kind of throw out there, like, is trusting someone actually necessary? And you said basically in a way that you have to put your trust in many different people. But in doing that, that kind of makes it easier. One, because you ain't putting your all in one person, which damn near would be your spouse. But if you're spreading trust thin when you do that. So this person may let you down on one level, but you can't be so devastated because you only trusted them for whatever that reason was. So I kind of get that.
But don't you think you do have to assess what you're trusting them with?
Yeah.
Like you may have a homeboy that you only can trust to know that you didn't go to work today.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you may have, somebody that you met 2 weeks ago that you can trust with a whole bunch of other stuff. You get what I'm saying? It's just you have to assess that person, and the assessment has to take a little bit more time before you start trusting them with information that you can necessarily lose your family over or lose your job over. You just can't tell people everything all at once. It's just not. I don't think it's feasible a lot of times.
Exactly, and like basically that's like to the introverts, the loners. You know what I'm saying? The people that kind of like want to be by themselves, or the ones that I don't trust nobody. And I'm like, man, at some point it's going to be necessary that you have to trust someone, even if it's inadvertently. Like we were saying, you get in the Uber car, you definitely gonna have to trust that they can get you from point A to point B. If you have to break it down like that, Now, how long do you think it takes to gain trust, though? And we kind of like touched on that. We were just like, we definitely know it takes time and action. But how much of it? I said consistency, but do you think there's a time frame that you allow, or can it be right out? Like, I think right off the bat would be naive.
I wouldn't do it right off
Exactly.
the bat, but I couldn't give you exactly how long it would take.
Now, all right. So I do know this: in certain aspects and environments, some people are tested, meaning like, okay, after 3 or 4 tries of this, you see what I'm saying? I can trust a little bit. You starting to see, you know what I'm saying? And then like, it's really a waiting game. You know what I'm saying? And after so much communication, though, you can determine, you know what I'm saying, where a person's going. A lot of times you might need to see a person face to face a lot so you can see the body language and stuff like that. And you can feel a vibe from time to time from a person that you feel like you can and you can't trust if you're around them.
And another thing is when you say trusting with secrets and stuff like that, my thing is a lot of times something might be a secret to somebody else, but to me it just ain't worth the time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's just certain things I don't talk about because I just don't feel like it's worth my energy. It's not
worth
my energy. It is not worth me draining your energy over. And I guess I'm guilty of that very, to a bad degree because I just don't feel like it's necessary. Like somebody says such and such, I don't need to repeat it because it was trash when they said it to me. So I'm not gonna put that trash in your ear. You get what I'm saying?
And not only that, sometimes people tell you more than what you even wanted to know,
right?
Or something you might not need to know,
right?
I was like, man, like that's too much info. I don't want to know all that. You know
wasting my time for stuff I don't even care about.
So I would kind of sum that up as it. You really don't have a certain amount of time, but you got to be the judge by the experience that you spend observing their actions, and then start tying the actions into what they say after a while. But it's actions first, and then what you say. You see what I'm saying? Because you can say some things that can project. I can see, okay, in the future you're gonna be straight, or you may be acting right now, but what you saying, I'm like, damn, you don't really think long term, or you saying some negative things, so you just might be feeling good right now. You might be financially up right now, or something like that. So you act in a different way.
I trust Lab enough to know he won't let no one, and if he can't control it, nothing happened to me. And I feel the same. Me and her have been into some. We done got into some fights with some folks at some places, and she had my back and I had her. So back to back type action. So yeah, I mean, I trust Slick with a lot of things. Like a lot of things that I normally probably wouldn't trust other people with. So but it's a lot of things that I feel like I don't need to repeat because it's just a waste of her time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like it's just.
Yeah. But see, that means you kind of know.
Right.
Like you basically, man, like she don't even give a damn about
right.
Right.
Because I don't give a damn about
exactly. So all right, now all right, well, what causes us not to trust people? And definitely like deception.
I won't say
For
deception.
me.
Broken hearts.
Yeah, I would say a lot of times I don't trust the arrogant person. I might
Give me
look
an example of how that would be a non-trusting thing.
If you always, let's say, about yourself, like bank on me, I'm this, I'm that, I got the best this, and every time you say something, oh, I know somebody that can do this, or I'm better, I don't really trust you. One, I don't trust you because guess what you're gonna do when I'm not around? You're gonna do the same thing, right?
Right.
All right, and then so I can predict what you can do,
right,
but I can't trust you. And see, like, unless you want to be trusted as a usable idiot,
right. I get it.
Because I mean, like, to me, I didn't say confidence. I said arrogance. So like, really, that means you better than everybody. You think you the smartest person in the room, or you can beat up everybody in the room, or you the freshest in the room. You're not giving other people benefits of the doubt. You're not observing other people. You're not trying to put other people in your situation or yourself in their situation. So arrogance, you know what I'm saying?
Would a loud talker be arrogant too? Like somebody that's
to me, that's more of attention. I would almost throw audacity in there. I don't either, because it's like I don't want the attention that you're already bringing, so I can't trust what you may do in any environment if you're talking this loud.
Right, and then somebody who talks that loud, but somebody who talks loud about their stuff, like say if it's a rapper or something, and we all might be chilling out here in the studio, and he like, yeah, man, I don't give a damn about none of this. All I need is my coins from my producing credits and all that. We don't care about none of that.
See,
but he loud talking us so we can hear. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
see, the loud talker, I don't want to hang around because at some point you might offend someone, and now we got to deal with something based on what you doing. And see, like. Then there you go. Now I can't trust you with my freedom,
right,
or my life, or my safety,
right,
because you popping off where everybody can hear you and invite everybody's attention. And we can't beat everybody,
right?
And we can't seriously, and we can't take on everybody's with or without weapons. So I'm not trying to attract that to myself. And if you're doing this all the time, then that's everywhere you going. So you're right. I definitely don't trust the loud mouther. But another thing is, we were talking about, can a person gain your trust back once it's lost? Or like, do you even give them time? Once you start getting to be our age, depending on what it is, the severity of the situation, it's no need to even try for you to earn trust back for them.
It's gone.
Exactly.
It's gone. You might trust them, but you might let them back in the fold, but you damn sure don't trust them.
Yeah, because we don't give out, like, I'm that old school breed where I don't really need to trust a lot of people for certain things, but I do know I need to trust some people. But like, I'm not looking for every relationship to be able to trust you. So we look at it like you missing out on somebody that's a real one. You see what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
As opposed to you know what I'm saying, me being able to trust you, like we know we solid over here.
Right, right.
So you do us wrong or whatever, or
I can't let you back in the fold once that happens, right? Not like you were before.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a limited in the fold action going on. You know, one thing that we do,
What's that?
we don't trust. We trust well. Why do we trust? Some of us trust our jobs and our bosses to have our best interests at heart. Like, why do people be surprised when they get laid off or they get fired or the boss don't give them because me myself personally, I have an office. I don't have anything in my cubicle. There's no pictures. There's no nothing because I always say tomorrow could be the day that they let me go, and all thing I gotta do is grab my bag. And people got pictures and all this, and they like, well, why you ain't got nothing in your office? Because I never take for granted that this job is gonna have my best interest at heart. They're first, I'm second, as far as I'm concerned. And when it's time for me to go, I go.
So usually, most of the time, I'm in an environment of, and anybody really is in it. You can be replaced environment or an environment where they need a body there. And with that being said, man, I don't trust. Like you say, every day I look at it like I could get my walking papers or security could come and walk me out or something. Or I could be told my services are no longer needed. And that's just because of like past experiences. That's because sometimes when you fight for what you know is right, it's not proper in that environment in which you're doing it in. So like I've learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, through working and not trusting. You see what I'm saying? That particular system. Because when you do, actually, it's when you trust them, it's when you out the door. For sure.
I don't know why people get put so much trust in their jobs and their careers and their bosses. We have to know that we are replaceable. If you go in there like I'm replaceable, like I know that they don't care about me, so why should I trust them? Then your heart won't be so broken when they finally do decide to let you go, is my thinking.
So here it is. It's a job, but those are people and individuals in play and in place at those jobs. And those people and individuals have temperaments, they have perspectives and perception of you. Exactly. So you don't know whether you're going to get along with everybody. So you can't go in that environment just, I just trust everybody I see. Next thing you know, you say something like, I really don't like how they get to do that, but this person has to do this. And next thing you know, somebody got you in the office and you get written up because of who you trusted to talk to. So I'm kind of like you, man. Like I'm laid back. I keep to myself.
I'm not entwining with nobody. Not going to be able to say, I said anything. I'm going to mind my business and keep it pushing.
Anything that I'm going to say to somebody in there, I'll say it to management. So with that being said, you can't do nothing but get respect around it. And if somebody say you say something, it don't hold no water because they'll be like, okay, and well, yeah, he told me that, or he'll tell me that, I know. Or tell him to come here. And then when I come here, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's exactly what I said.
That's exactly what I said.
You see what I'm saying? Because I trust myself, which is what we were saying too. You know, I was saying that offline, like, man, I gotta put a lot of trust in myself coming up for the things that I have to do. But it's like, who do we blame when trust is lost? And I have like, do you blame yourself for trusting that person or the person? And I was like, I'm a 50-50 to thing, so I can learn from it myself too, because I'm still part of that equation. Too. And then, but I'm gonna make sure, whatever it was that I trust, the bond was broken. I'm gonna remember that so that I can either see it coming from someone else. Or, that's just something that you learn from. You always want to learn from something so that you either can feel a certain way if it happens to you again, or you can avoid it. So,
I think that a lot of times when we're trusting folks and I'm sorry, what you just said? I'm thinking about something else. I don't want to go that far down the line.
Like, who would you blame?
Oh, okay, yeah. I think that we should blame each other. We should especially blame because, and when it comes to relationships, we definitely should blame ourselves because there probably was signs there that we didn't see because love blinds us to a lot of things, and we like what they say. Don't trust your lying eyes.
Hold on, everybody says that, right? But now I'll tell you this: if you see it, Is it rather than you were blind to it, kind of like, is it you just saw it and decided to secretly or in your mind accept it, but you denying it at the same time? You're deceiving yourself.
You deceived yourself. You saw it, but you said you said to yourself,
because that's that intuition.
Right, right.
That's the one thing we suck at in intuition, I guess, is relationships with, you know what I'm saying, with the person that you love
Right.
or you think you love and trust.
You say to yourself, I don't want to lose him or her, so I'm gonna let that slide.
I
what
mean,
I'm
but
saying?
is it because of how they look, how they physically handle things?
It could be looks,
financially,
finances, sex, anything. It could be all the above. It's just a matter of I don't want to lose her. I don't want to get into it with them, or because a lot of times when you do catch somebody in certain things, and your intuition has told you, and you ask, they're gonna deny it anyway. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna piss yourself off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you're gonna start questioning and second guessing yourself. And why even bother? Just know that they're gonna lie about it if they get caught in it, and you called them. Now you gotta watch out. Just that little bit more harder.
All right. So, do you know if someone has lost trust in you?
Yeah, you could tell they act different around you.
Okay. Has someone lost trust in you?
And me, I don't think so.
Okay. So I know one person I definitely know that I don't want ever to lose trust in me is my daughter. Like, and that's a relationship, like I say, that I trust her, and I know she trusts me. We would both have each other in our best interest, and whatever decision she will make, I know she will make it to make it be positive for me, if anything.
Well,
and
let me go back. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Yes, my children has lost trust in me. When I first got separated and divorced from my ex-wife, my children's mother, because I only have one my baby mama. I got three children by one person.
Okay, I got one by one.
So they lost faith in me when I divorced and then separated from their mother, not because of anything I did, because the water was being poisoned by the conversation they were having with the ex.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't poisoning any water because I wasn't having that conversation because it was none of their business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I understand.
I believe for a long time they lost faith in me. They lost trust in me. So that's just something I'm still trying to overcome.
Oh, wow.
But I know I didn't do anything wrong. I just don't want to discuss with them what me and their mother went. It's none of their business. Whereas she felt like she needed to just, it's always good to be the victim in a situation, especially when the person that really got hurt didn't say anything about it.
All right. So with you saying that kind of leads right on into the next thing. And I was like, trust basically seems like it should be a two-way street. And I look at it like, if you trust someone but they can't trust you, or they trust me and I can't trust them, I look at it almost as it's like liking someone that don't like you,
right?
To a degree. I mean, so I wouldn't put too much energy in
that relationship.
Yeah,
and building that.
This is like what I'm saying, like a commitment type thing. You ain't got to necessarily trust somebody you're doing a particular type of business with, depending on what it is, if it's not long term or something like that. But we were talking about.
I disagree.
I said if it's not long term, like let's just say this is a first time transaction, you just want to buy something real quick. And
Okay. Well, still, until you get that item or that thing in your hand that's working properly, or
you ain't gonna release your money.
Oh well, so I mean, it could happen after.
Well, I mean, see, that's something that we were talking about. Like, you trust the Uber driver. Well, yeah, I trust that when I shop by GOAT, I'm gonna get my shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's a different kind of trust, man. It's a trust that I have no choice in. It's not like I got belief and faith in them. I mean, it's like, man, damn, we doing business. I'm expecting. It's an not necessarily a trust. It's an expectation. But now I will say this. You have to trust the payment methods and stuff that is secure.
Right.
You see, because you ain't expecting that. You trusting that shit.
Yeah, because that little lock up
you want something like yeah. Okay. So we definitely did. We got that. The trust is a two-way street. All right. So why do we trust the wrong people from time to time? And we kind of went by like we've been deceived by that. You can misread somebody sometimes. Then you could have deceived yourself. Like, they may not have to deceive you. You could just be honestly not picking up on certain things, maybe because you're not around that person a lot.
Some people are good liars, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some people are good
okay.
con artists. Some people are good at putting their representative forward and keeping them forward for a long time until it's too late. By the
some
time you
people
notice
be
it, it's too late.
literally living a different life, be in a different character.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I mean, I can't necessarily fault the person that has been deceived like that. You don't fault the person that's been deceived. You definitely fault the deceiver on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times people enter relationships, men and women, like the trust is kind of like how you start things, is how you're going to keep things a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's not like you trust in that person. You just are kind of trusting as you go, like, okay, I trust that if you did that once, you might do it again. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you, like, if you live in a fake life, you in a role, basically.
Right.
You acting this thing out. So you might do some of these things again, like repetitive, to get them hooked to what you want, to get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
These folks know this, like, if this is what they do for a living, they know, yeah, I gotta call her every day at a certain time so she think that this is what's going on, and they'll do that. But there have been like kids who've dropped out of school, and their parents trusted that they were still getting their education, and they left the house at a certain time every day for damn near a year or at least 6 months till the school contacted them until the jig was up. So some things happen like that. All right, so. Do you feel the responsibility to be trustworthy in a relationship or like around the people, trustworthy to the people you're around?
Trust can lead to responsibility.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
people trust you so much, they can lead to you being responsible, having to be responsible because people trust you. So if you're like Slick, she's a responsible one in her family, from what I gather. Mm-hmm. So they trust her with this, they trust her with that, they trust her to do this, which can be overwhelming sometimes, but she's trustworthy in that. So they all pound the chips on that she's trustworthy, and now she's responsible for certain things. You get what I'm saying?
You're right. In most of the environments I've been in where I've been an employee, being trustworthy led to more work.
Yeah, right.
So, which is responsibility.
Right.
So that equates to responsibilities, like you were just pretty much saying with Slick, in the real world. But it's always good to be trustworthy, but that doesn't mean that you need to be exploited with your capabilities, your time, your efforts, your skill.
Right.
I'm gonna get into the example of why your job or whatever organization that you know what I'm saying, are a part of, you should be a trustworthy person. I'll give y'all an example of that towards the ending of this thing, because it's going to be one of them, I think, lessons to learn and one to grow on.
Okay.
But, all right, so I asked you this offline. Is there someone that you should have trusted but you didn't?
A few.
I think so, too. Me, too.
A few people. I had a guy that I worked with that we remodeled houses. He bought houses and remodeled them, and we were working on the weekends and stuff. And then he started his own business. And the only thing that was a problem for me is that he wasn't really able to pay me, and I had bills, and I really should. He said, trust me, I'm not gonna let you lose your apartment. I'm not gonna let you lose your, And I just got nervous because I had children and a wife, and I couldn't. He said, we're going to build this thing together. You're going to be my president of this company. And he built a pretty sizable company. And I didn't trust the process with him to stay there and just dog it out. And I just didn't trust what he said. And I should have, because at the end of the day, he did build a nice, reputable company, very comfortable living, offices everywhere. And I could have been a part of it had I trusted it.
So basically, if you reached out now, it would be a no-go. Like if you wanted to.
Well, it was not that. It's like this. Once I have a job and I leave that job, I don't ever look back. I try to move forward. So
I got you. I understand.
I'm not going. I've talked to him as a friend, but I've never talked to him as I need to come work for you again. And I don't think the process. I don't think the process would be the same because. We would have been starting this thing from the ground. We're working on it from the ground up. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't trust his process. He was giving me money. I wasn't working for free when the stuff we were doing, but it was just
not enough.
It wasn't enough
for what I needed.
For what I needed, and he was like, "Trust me." trust, because he really wanted me to work, but we really worked good together. It's like, trust me, once I sell these houses and sell this apartment buildings and start building this company, you won't want for nothing. He says it's gonna take about a year, and I said, I can't do it for you. I couldn't do it. I had 3 children.
Yeah, you sacrificed for your children,
right? He said, you gonna be my number 2. We good.
Wow, man.
And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
I got you. I really don't think that if I'd have trusted someone, you know what I'm saying, I would be, like I said, I don't have anyone that had an opportunity for me like that. That if I'd have trusted, I'd be where I needed to be. So I'm kind of like no on that one. You know, I can say maybe relationship wise, a few women, you know, if I'd have trusted them probably or done maybe some of the things that they said, I know I could have come out, you know.
I'm gonna give you another example of what I should have trusted. I should have trusted the process. I was on YouTube when it first started. Back in 2005.
And if you just kept doing it from 2005
just kept doing what
now,
I was doing and trusted the process, that was back when they would only let you have like 5 or 10 minute videos. They wouldn't even let you have
everybody would have known you because you would have had videos for so many years.
Right. I was on there literally in the beginning.
Wow.
If I would have trusted the process, stayed down, made videos, did, you know, all this stuff over these last few years, I probably would have millions and millions of subscribers by now. But I didn't trust the process, so I dropped it away. I stopped doing anything. I stopped posting anything, stopped doing videos for a long, long time, from about 10 to 15 years, and came back to it. And now all these people are making millions of dollars a year off of YouTube. So I could have been one of the first.
All right, so that's now the next thing then, because I was going to say, are there any resources, books or instructions or information or whatever that you trust, or if you would have trusted, would it have helped you? Kind of like had you just said, if you'd have trusted that if it within what you were doing, but with the YouTube, you'd have trusted that process right there. That's a resource, by the way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You know, you would probably be somewhere different. Some people trust information. Shit, some people trust the GPS.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Seriously.
Too much.
Next thing you know, I'll give you an incident. I just saw this on the news. They really wanted to try to put something in the app with this GPS because the drivers are trusting it, but it's going up under this particular bridge that's very low, and some of the cars are getting damaged. So they have the GPS doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? The height of the bridge. So that's interesting. You see what I'm saying?
But they've trusted people have trusted GPS to where it say turn right and they turn right into a lake.
Sometimes information in the news be wrong, but people might trust it because of the resource and because now you got a lot of stuff, so you kind of got to think. Some people they don't know what the difference between AI and not, and you can't trust that.
We're gonna get into that in a minute, but I think people trust the news sources that they believe in, depending on their view of society and their view of the world in general. They trust those news sources that gives them the information that they want to hear. They don't necessarily trust news sources that don't give them the information that they want to hear. So that in itself,
I feel what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, the ones that cater to what they're looking for,
how they're thinking, and what they're looking for. So most people do that. I don't think it's necessarily that they trust all news sources. I think they just only trust the ones that tell them what they want to hear.
So, do you consider, like, when it comes to people or relationships, loss of trust as betrayal?
No. Well, let's put it this way. If the trust was lost because of betrayal,
got you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think losing trust can be a betrayal, but you can lose trust because of a betrayal.
See, and I say that because a lot of times, you know how people might say, "Oh man, he disrespected me," and this thing, you know, wow, and it'd be like, "Man, that ain't even nothing that we really consider totally disrespectful."
Right.
All right, like, well. Exactly. A lot of times trust and betrayal mainly go hand in hand sometimes with my heart be broken or whatever. But not every relationship is dealt off of someone putting their emotion in it. It could be finances. But okay, so would you think it would be betrayal if someone you invested some money and they took the money and did something different with it?
Yes.
See, well now we just answering some questions that making it interesting.
Let's go back to relationship. It also would be betrayal if I trusted someone to be around my significant other and they tried to hit on that person. That's
Okay.
a betrayal.
Okay, so that's cool. You kind of answered it. I liked it. So it's basically a 50-50 thing then.
Right.
So we just basically found reasons for the betrayal that can be trust. I
Right.
mean,
That could be trust related.
I got you. All right. So with that being said, what would be, your state of mind sometimes when you lose trust in someone? Do you seek revenge, or do you stress from the losing the trust, or do you try to learn from it or correct the issue in the situation?
It depends on, for me personally, it depends on the person that I lost the trust in. Like if that person was close to me, I may try to learn from it. But if it's just somebody just in general, I don't care to get revenge from them, and I don't care to deal with them. It's just I have a very good way of cutting people off. I don't need to talk to you anymore if I've lost trust in you, because what's the point? Because to me, everything you say out your mouth is going to be a lie now, and I can't. What is it? I can't have my every day that I talk to you be a lie, because every time you open, when you say hello, how are you? I'm gonna say, hey, lying. You get what I'm saying? He don't care how I am. So now I just why put us through that stress? Why put you through the stress and me through the stress of thinking you're lying, and you through the stress of thinking I'm lying? So I'm not going to deal with that.
Okay. So the way I look at it is, depends on who you are, and depends on what it is that the trust was broken over, how I'm going to react. Like, if it's a lot of money on the line and you owe me, I don't think I'm just going to, like, that might be the, let me seek another route. I ain't necessarily say revenge, but let me seek another route to get across to you that I might need this. You see what I'm saying?
I think revenge is a waste of energy. I'm not going to lie. I think, why get revenge on a person that you're not going to deal with anymore?
Because before you do, you want to make them learn a lesson. It has to cost them what it costs you.
Who's to say that they're going to learn a lesson from?
Oh, they're going to learn a lesson. Oh, yeah. See, that's the
say,
point. You're going to make them learn that lesson.
Slick say, I revenge that shit, but I'm trying
Slick,
to be a better person.
Slick, no. Slick,
I don't
no.
think revenge is me personally, I don't think revenge is worth the effort.
Well, you could call it payback. You can call it tit for tat.
Whatever you call it, I don't think it's worth the effort, because now you put all this thought into
it's worth
I'm
the
gonna
effort.
get this person back, blah 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 blah, and you could just be done with it.
But that's the thing. No, it depends on how much you lost.
Like, okay, so
and who it is. Sometimes you might be like, okay, just the principle behind what they've done and who they are, the audacity to come at you that way. You're gonna be like, okay, you need to learn a lesson real quick.
So let me ask you. So you in a relationship with a young lady, and she cheat on you. Do you get revenge and cheat on her back?
Okay, so
and then this is part 2 question. If you do decide to cheat on her back, how will she know that you cheated? Are you going to tell her? Because the revenge has to be that the person knows this.
If she cheats on me, I'm probably gonna be out of the relationship because I don't feel like dealing with all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know if you do it once, you're more than likely to do it again, or it's just the fact that you did it once. That's kind of like disrespectful, because I'm trying to find someone that wouldn't do that. Right. So if you did that, I'm done with it.
Right.
So I mean, and now I ain't gonna try to get no revenge because I'm done.
Right.
And that's the one I'm just gonna learn from. I'll be like, okay, I guess she won the one. You know, and
they
keep
say
it moving.
It's worth it for my sanity. Don't try me. See, I just don't think.
But see, you can't correct that issue with cheating by cheating. You just getting even. Which, if that's what you want to do, you want to be the getting even person, then you still have to understand it's up, it's even, so it's tied. So somebody might want to have a tiebreaker, and now you keep going back and forth. The shit is like tennis. Then
unique Angel Nelson says, my revenge is moving on in peace. The memory of my essence.
That's kind of the best. That's the best revenge to do better without them.
Right. I think trying to get a physical revenge back, a tit for tat, it's just energy's just not.
But it's different when it's something that might belong to you. And I ain't talking about relationship. Like somebody, let's say, all right, man, what if somebody wreck your car or something? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you something though. When I got divorced and got separated from my ex-wife, you know, DJing is what I love. She destroyed a lot of my DJ equipment, and that's something I love. Like, a lot.
I hear you.
So I'm not going to I didn't decide to get in the revenge back.
I let those things go because I know emotions were damaged. Like that means that you hurt that person to the core.
Mm-hmm.
So you trying to hurt my materials annoys my pocket. It doesn't annoy my heart.
Right.
So I won't get back on you with that. I'll be pissed, but I can replace that emotion and that stress and that hurt I caused. That shit gonna last them a lifetime. They'll get over it, but it's still gonna be a lifetime that they remember your ass for whatever it is you did.
Slick said, Lab is the pettiest person I know. I am petty, and I've admit this, but I'm not petty to the point to where my pettiness is pick and choose. Like, I'm a pick and choose pettiness person. I don't know how to explain it, but I am petty, but I'm not necessarily that revengeful. You get what I'm saying? Like, I prefer to move on from you than to try to get revenge on you. But if you're trying to be, like, talk smart to me, then I'm going to talk smart back to you. And I'm going to try to raise the level to where you're not going to even know that you're being talked smart to unless you have a certain IQ level. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm petty like that. Like, I'm petty like if you tie my shoes together, I'm going to tie all your shoes together. It's just...
Okay, see, that's a little bit more. I feel you.
Yeah,
I might just take your shoes.
Right.
But hey, all right. So here's like, I would say this is a question right here. It makes it's gonna make. I had to stop for a second because it's making me think.
Okay,
it's juicy. Okay. All right, so let's just say you lose trust in someone because maybe they have a drug addiction. Now, you already know that that's a factor in play.
Right.
Now, because we said once we lose trust, that person, we ain't really dealing with them to earn that back. But with this person, you see that it was something that that contributed to you. You know what contributed for y'all trust to be lost. If they, let's say, kick that, can they gain your trust back then? Through compassion. Or is it just like, nah, man, I know what you did. I know what you was on. You stooped to, or will you?
It's arm's length for me. And I'm going to tell you, as a person who dealt with it my mom growing up, which is a very, it's a top person in your life, if you get what I'm saying.
I got you.
Who dealt with alcoholism and drug addiction growing up with her. It's still arm's length. It's my mom, you know what I'm saying? But the relationship was so strained and his trust was so broken that, and I have issues, you know what I'm saying? I'm a broken person in some regards, that my dealings are arm's length. And people say, well, you only get one mom, but you didn't go through what I went through. You didn't deal with what I had to deal with, so you don't know how my pain is. You get what I'm saying? So arm's length. I'm still dealing with you, and I still love her as my mom. Don't get me wrong, but it's just.
Well, got you.
Cause I've been separated for so long. It just mentally from it, and then when I got married and had kids, it became a whole nother thing. So it's just not.
So actually, listen, man. There's nothing wrong with that because I've literally had to, like I say, I built a relationship with my daughter because I wanted her to trust me. So I had to speak to her and reveal certain things to her and talk to her in ways where she could trust me with anything that she wanted to trust me with. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like I could trust my mom and dad with everything I wanted to talk about or what I thought about or stuff like that. Like, based off of just because it was a parenting level. Only thing I could trust is that, as their child, I got their best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a place to stay at some point. But with other things, like we just discussed all through the show, you trust different people with different things.
Right.
But I wanted it to at least be that my daughter, my child, could trust me. You see what I'm saying? Because without that, I understand exactly like how you would feel because you could still be in a household with certain people, and it's based off of so many actions. Like I don't know. Your mother's actions. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, if as a child you're disappointed by how your mom acts, then you have every right to feel like how you do as an adult, especially when you become a parent.
Right.
Because I know whatever it was that my parents did that I might not have liked, and it's not like it's some horrible things. It could be like they're not good money managers or something. Whatever it was, I said I want to change that and be perceived differently with my child.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to gain the trust though.
Right.
You know. So I definitely feel you on that. And we already went through a couple of reasons that you would have to be around or deal with people that you might not, be able to trust or haven't built the total trust and bond yet. And that could be at work or that could be, you know what I'm saying, a bad referral that you may have had to trust from someone and you didn't know it till you got pretty much tied up into what you had to do. And it would be too expensive to cut out, maybe. You see what I'm saying? So you have to go ahead and trust that at some point, someone that you didn't trust and you probably won't trust after this, you get done with it. Sometimes it's people like in-laws that you're related to. You kind of forced to trust that they're gonna do some things that maybe another relative is a little bit more responsible with.
What's going on, Big Reese? Music Inc. The label in the building. What's going on, Reese? I appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, Slick says I can't forgive stealing from me.
That's a good one, Slick, because you're right. You had every chance to ask first. When you start taking, that means you're sneaky. And the sneaky trait doesn't just go away like that.
Not at all.
You
Especially
see what
when
I'm
it
saying?
comes to trust.
Yeah. Basically, you'll do it again depending on how long I am away from whatever it is you might want or how much of it that you feel like. You know how somebody might have a whole bunch of something, they be like, oh, they ain't gonna miss these two.
Right.
You see, and then that's a sneaky person.
Yeah.
A sneaky person is someone that finds something in your house.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you go to work and you put that lunch in I just try to throw a little humor into it. And you put that lunch in the refrigerator and you go back and your lunch is gone. Do you trust anybody in the office now? Because you don't know who took it.
Nah, but I don't go in trusting nobody anyway.
Okay.
It could be any one of y'all.
I expect you to take it.
So now I'm going to learn a lesson from that situation and just keep it on me or put it where I need to. I don't really use that refrigerator. One, it don't get cleaned out enough anyway.
Right.
And then it's too many ins and outs.
Too many ins and outs. Yeah, you don't know what they doing to your food when they go in there and come out of that kitchen. So you right. I agree.
So a little bit earlier we were talking about how I said if you feel like you should be trustworthy in your environment. That's funny because I said I don't trust some people at my job, but I'm a trustworthy person at my job or doing my job. Like they definitely can trust I'm gonna show up.
Right.
Now they can't trust certain people to show up every single day because of the call out.
Right.
But that's actions. We already said your actions, you know what I'm saying? Makes it so people, whether you're trustworthy or not. All right, so the example is this. For people who think that you don't have to be trustworthy in a certain environment or for your corporation or your job, there's a particular basketball player. I ain't necessarily got to name his name, but he's currently under a federal investigation for gambling. All right, now, what the representations of the NBA were talking about, like some of the representatives, they were saying that, first of all, they want the viewers and fans to trust or be able to trust what they see. Meaning, like, you got to be honest. They don't want it rigged, basically.
Right.
So, trust again. So, with that being said, if the NBA can't trust that this man is gambling and padding stats or throwing games and stuff like that, if he's deemed untrustworthy, then guess what? He can't get
barred from the game.
Not only that, but he's already got a $42 million contract on the line that's on pause now. $42 million on pause because you want to gamble.
Right.
And now my thing is like you can go a couple of ways with this, but like first of all, if you're in the NBA, man, you've already got, I would say, even if you're making the league minimum, that's enough for you to be able to do something and invest in, or not gamble.
Minimum now, $1 million.
I don't know what it is, man. You can look it up, but I know it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's enough for you not to have to gamble. You could try to, find an accountant to it.
Well, you'd be surprised. People, just because they're in the NBA doesn't mean that they're not living beyond their means.
Not only that, they're young, so of course they're gonna take care of their family. Of course they're gonna buy themselves some cars. They're gonna buy some jewelry. They're gonna go to the strip club. They're gonna do everything, and then you're gonna look up and they're gonna need more money. But you are basically a celebrity and an athlete. Use that rather than gamble. Like now you first of all you taking federal chances. Now you like okay with the 42 mil. Do you think you would have had to gamble then?
League minimum is 200,000 a year.
I mean, hey, but you get to travel with the team, you get to work out, you get to eat. Then again, I don't know whether you might have to pay something or not. I'm assuming they're not gonna make you pay for no plane tickets and no room. No. So okay, all right, he wasn't making the league minimum by the way.
No, not the $42 million contract. What, $42 million over 5 years or something like that?
I don't even know, but it was coming up. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hey man, but now. And see the thing is, he still get the benefit of the doubt. It said on pause, you know, because
pending the investigation, right?
Something similar to that. Because I mean, you know, they want to trust you. You know, they want to invest in you. That's a cool thing, but they need to trust someone that's trustworthy. Like you lose stock, and that's funny because we could go in. This could be for football, any sport. Go out there before you get drafted and start doing some stupid shit.
Right, you're not gonna get drafted
because the team ain't gonna be able to trust you. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna be able to trust the investment.
Right, and if you playing sports, let's say you got the contract and you gambling those, and every time, and I'm a spectator, and every time you walk on the court, now there's doubts.
Oh yeah,
not when you. You bounce the ball and it go and somebody steals it.
Yeah,
man, he let him steal that.
Yeah. And see, nobody's gonna want to watch our team because I'm on it, and and then see the thing is you can gamble now. Fans can.
Right.
So they're gonna lose money if I'm gambling too, because now ain't nobody gonna bet on that squad because they like, oh well, he gambling, he gonna make it so you know, and yeah. It's just, but the funny thing is though, this ain't the first time this has happened to a player, and then you even had
baseball and football happened too.
But then you even had referees in on the team.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
recently.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, you know, is it rigged or not?
Right.
But we still
you don't want that question mark, because then if the question mark becomes a problem, then people stop buying tickets. People stop watching. The revenue from the TV and commercials go down. The revenue from the stadiums go down because people are not questioning if this is real or not. It's like let's be honest. WWE, the wrestling, we know is probably not trustworthy. To be real, but people still go see it.
Now,
it'll be maybe in that realm.
And they trust the members of that organization to stick to the script though.
Right. It's like Harlem Globetrotters now.
Yeah.
You know the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Nationals.
It was like and one,
right?
You know,
and one was real.
I mean, it was, but man, come on. So there was some carrying going on, some traveling. You know,
it was street ball. You ain't supposed to call carrying and traveling in street ball. See, you know when you on a street court and you can't. You're not supposed to call a foul. That's weak. You know this.
But that's the thing. But then too. But see, that's the thing. When you on the street, sometimes you gambling. And you fouling me, you stopping me from winning. You see what I'm saying? You got to make the foul like not obvious and flagrant. Damn, you know, it's like, okay, home, this is what we on. You know I'm going to win. And now you playing football, you going for my ankles and shit. You wrapping my knees up and shit, you know.
And Slick just said something that's real. We put a lot of trust in the lottery. Slick said lottery runs that go broke.
Oh man.
We put so much trust in the lottery that the winners be billions of dollars because we trust that it's not a rigged system and that we're going to win.
I really don't gamble that much at casinos, and I don't really do lotteries.
I don't gamble at all. I've never played the lottery.
I will say I do some scratch offs from time to time. I can gamble playing cards, you know what I'm saying? I don't do dice.
Right.
You know, I used to just gamble off of stuff like, man, my jump shot or something, you know, or just, you know, I could flip this coin and make it flip what you got. Just different things like that. Something that maybe I could possibly do.
Right.
Like I bet I could throw this the amount far, stuff like that. But now, man, ain't nobody betting on that. So everybody, the new way to make money from what I see is people are betting on stats. And they betting on like fantasy type stuff, you know. So and they making, I don't know if they're making a lot, but they making something.
They making something.
Yeah. I ain't never got into that. I've seen some people, they can play games all damn day and give reviews and make money.
Oh yeah, that they make money, make tons of money. tons of money. So let's get to this.
Mm-hmm.
We trust social media to a certain extent, but now I think the trust of social media is about to go away real hard because have you seen all these AI videos where everybody looks real?
So I think a lot of people actually don't trust social media. I think they just try to mimic it to get in the algorithm and try to make money off of it.
Right.
But I think what you're saying is, yeah, our eyes didn't deceive us as much. We didn't have to squint, stare,
right.
and second guess what we're looking at. We could trust our sight more on site before all of this AI than what it is now. And I think it's a reason behind all of that.
And you know what happens now? Know what happens now? And I'm not saying this to scare folks, but if they can make the AI on videos look that real, what's to say they can't make an AI? They probably can. They probably have. Make an AI and be like, oh, we have the video of those coming out the store shooting everybody.
So
or unaliving people in the store. And you sit here, but they saying you 1,500 miles away.
I'm gonna say, did that dose that you saw have my cell phone? Did it ping? I'm gonna say that dose that you saw is DNA over there. Was that dose that you saw on the clock working?
Right.
Or where was that dose that you saw? Because there's two of them.
Right.
So that's
but
the
that's
clone.
just the perception of the video now.
I'm gonna say, does that video have my tags where they are?
Yes.
Like,
they can do that. They can do that.
I'm gonna be like, hey, lock up my phone, but keep
totally
me free. I'm gonna be
you.
like, shit.
Remember when they was making up?
So you mean it basically? I'm the only person they can come get because the AI did it, not me. Man, look here.
The AI looks just like the AI is you.
So I'm gonna have to prove I was in two places at once.
Right.
That's the only thing I can do.
That's it. You have to show your time card or something.
Yeah.
Remember when Facebook and Instagram was doing them older videos, making you make them old pictures and the younger pictures.
Yeah.
Making you update this photo, update.
That's how they can aid you and get all that AI stuff.
And so
too,
now
by
they
the way.
add this. I believe, in my opinion, now I don't know if Instagram will cut off when I say this. In my opinion, they are using that now to train the AI.
I mean,
yes.
Well, here's the thing.
Our voices, all that. They're using all that to train the AI.
But here's the thing. Well, AI is only in the machine right now. So to me, it's not that much of a threat. It's a threat to people who do things that, if your job is to keep things in the machine, meaning like if you do graphics through a machine.
It's never all or nothing some though.
But listen,
can't look. We talking about trust.
Yeah.
You can't trust people to keep the
monster
AI
in the
cage.
Machine. Oh yeah. Listen, I don't trust AI at all. But here's what I'm saying. Right now, AI is digital. So unless they're going to, like, they do have 3D printing machines, but unless the AI gonna jump from the phone to beside me, which could be a hologram or whatever, but that ain't the AI that's on that. So unless they can make it real, we still got it harnessed in the phone or in our computers.
Unique. Angel Nelson says they want to phase out the human experience, and I agree. I agree that they do want to phase out the human experience. I believe that they don't want to put any actors in movies. They don't want to pay $15-20 million a movie no more. I believe that they don't want to put actors in commercials. I don't believe they want us to have influence in it. I believe that they want to make the AI do everything. Think about, Timbaland just got in trouble because he started an AI music label. And now what's happening now is they want to phase out the human experience and take away the human jobs and pay all this, keep all the money to themselves, to the point to where everything's going to be AI. There's not going to be, you're going to see Denzel Washington in the movie, but he's going to be at home sitting on his couch because he ain't made no money in years.
Well, you still, to me, I would think, would always have what I call creativity. You have creators. And the creator isn't going to want to sit still and let a computer do all of the work. When, okay, while y'all keep AI in, we'll just keep getting it. Unless you take the cameras away, we'll just take cameras and keep filming skits. We'll film what we want to film, how we want to film it. But look, my bad for cutting you off, but look, like when Blair Witch, that movie came out, that was kind of different at first, right? By how they were filming. All right, that was what you call creation. Right.
Right.
Look at it now. We went from that to AI.
Mhm.
You're still gonna have somebody that's gonna want to do something like that Blair Witch
Mhm.
and be creative. Or what happens if someone creates something beyond AI?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and make AI null and void.
And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Slick says, when you see shit in the movies, please know that that part of it is real. Unique Angel Nelson says there is an agenda, man, entwined with robots.
Yeah.
I believe that when DVOC happened,
Mm-hmm.
that they were training things to know certain things. So what happens is when we put our faces on these Instagrams and put our voices on these, that's why they want videos now. That's why the videos are so prevalent now. You know, it used to be just post a picture. Now pictures don't even get you anywhere. But if you post a video, it'll get you somewhere because they want to train the AI or the AI adjacent how we move our arms, how we blink our eyes, how we move our lips when we speak, how we may interact with music, how we may interact with watching the TV, how we may interact when we change the pages on the book or magazines or newspaper, how we type on the computer. These are things that need to be learned. And the only way you can learn them things is by visualizing them when it comes to computers and AI. So all this stuff that we put on Instagram, the cars and all that stuff,
check it out,
it's training.
They've been doing that through animation and through pretty much the Maddens and the NBA Live.
I get it.
By putting all them green tubes and green screens.
And that's a
all
part of it too.
And and they've already given you watered down AI with CGI.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, like, you still have people that want a substance that isn't digitized or robotic.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we can't
Everything can't be pixelated.
We can't trust certain things. What I'm saying is, and you're right, they gave us CGI and all that, but what better to learn from than the people you're trying to copy? Than the population you want to give the impression that that's on the screen,
I think
or in the cartoon or in the
movies. It's encouraged to keep people doing the same thing in the algorithm. Like, yeah, we want you to dance, not necessarily because of the AI, but because now you're going to create a challenge, and while everybody's running around dancing, you can start elevating more technology to keep them programmed. You see what I'm saying? Like, if there was a challenge where it was let's say the seek more knowledge challenge, the turn the TV off challenge. You see what I'm saying? The read particular books that gain certain type of wisdom challenge, then you probably either would see something different on the algorithm or they wouldn't promote it.
Right. I was going to say that they could do that now. They could do those challenges right now. That's not happening. When I post a book on my page, it gets 1 like. And I don't care about that. I'm just posting the book. Somebody else, that one person who liked it knows what that book is now.
So what that definitely tells me is you don't trust the algorithm at all.
And Slick say, so is cloning real? Cloning has been real for 10 years.
Probably
if not
longer
more.
than that. Yeah,
they have been cloning people for a very, very long time. CRISPR has been in effect for a very, very long time.
I'm going to tell you how they've tried to clone. The earliest trying to clone is basically just trying to create twins.
They tried to clone when they took,
and that's damn near the same thing, but not. You see, but you do. It's a little bit. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a twin. That's a really damn near your clone.
That's internal clone.
That's
internal,
but see,
made in the inside the.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't think that they haven't tried.
Right.
They actually tried to splice people together. You know what I'm saying? Give one person one arm and another person. So yeah, you know.
I think cloning has been real for a very long time. I mean, even when they took the blood from Henrietta Lacks and made all these, these sedatives and antibiotics for stuff, that was part of cloning too. So I even believe, and I'm so conspiracy theory full that I believe that when you go to the hospital and the first thing they do is take your blood, that they save the blood for stuff. That's just me, and I just believe that. And now they say blood goes bad after a certain amount of time because coagulates and all that stuff. I get it, but I still think that they don't need, to me, they don't need a big 14 vials of your blood to test it. That's just me. I just think that they can use that same sample and do 14 different tests with that same sample of blood.
A lot of times people will put their trust in medicine instead of like the doctors telling them, let's say they can exercise, which they can, but they rather just trust the medication than do the exercises that the doctor tells them to do, which can actually lower it so they can get off of it. And it's like not putting trust within themselves or the doctor to just trust another company. You see what I'm saying? And it's little things like that I say sometimes. I mean, for a couple of things, I ain't gonna get too much on that though.
Right.
But if you actually do that, you see what I'm saying? Rather than trust what you're reading on the package, trust what you're being told that has been done before naturally.
And that's something right there that you just said. I'm gonna get. Slick says, well, they can choose your kid's sex and how many babies you can have and eye color and all that now. Unique Angel Nelson says, yes, they do elite drinks with our blood like true vampires. I believe that too. Let me say something you just said now. You said a whole plethora of things that we probably won't have time to touch on, but you said trusting the doctor. That in itself is something that we do willingly. We trust the doctor. We will run to the hospital, go to the ER, and trust that the doctor knows what he's doing and knows that he's giving us the right remedy. But we have to remember that when we go, they're practicing. That's why they give us so many tests, because they don't know exactly what it is that's wrong with us. They're just going to give us a bunch of tests, and when something goes bingo, they're going to be like, oh, that's what's wrong. That's why a lot of people don't give them their preconceived conditions, because a lot of doctors are going to treat the previous condition instead of what's wrong with me now. So we trust the doctor, we trust the nurses, we trust the doctor to prescribe us the right things to help us. We put a lot of trust in a lot of strangers that we necessarily won't put the same trust in than family members.
We also trust what we eat. I mean,
we do trust what we eat.
And we trust, but by that meaning like we buy it from the store, we trust that it's healthy for us. We trust that whatever is said that is on it and the ingredients that it says is in it. We trust that whatever it says it's going to do for us or whatever it will do. Right. Sometimes people trust the protein. And that's funny because they be like, ooh, did that work? Like, they're going to put all their trust in that. And I'm like, not unless you work with it.
Right.
Like, the protein ain't going to get in there and lift the weights. You know what I'm saying? So, but, yeah, what certain people, you know, put trust in is very interesting, I've learned in life. But since we're getting kind of close to the end, I can start summing things up. Like, we all have to trust someone. And at some point, you do have to trust organizations. I mean, you know, be it public. I don't like trusting a lot of things that's public either. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not like that's a high priority. You know, like your house to you is a high priority. So, you know, whoever you have in there, more than likely you're going to be able to trust them because you wouldn't invite a lot of people that you wouldn't within that. But when you in certain public places, now you just got to trust something don't go wrong. I ain't say you trust the place or
we trust the elevator. Slick don't even trust elevators.
Wow.
We trust elevators in public places. To get on the elevator, it's going to go up to the floor that we think it's supposed to go up to.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
It's not going to break.
It's just blind trust a lot of stuff that we deal with.
Thinking of Final Destination. I saw that, you know what I'm saying, the most recent one. But yeah, we do though. Like if you get on the train, you definitely trust it's going to stay on the track. You trust that they're going to get you to your destination so you can get to your job or whatever it is that you're trying to do.
And it's not to scare anybody. We trust planes.
I had to trust one last month.
See?
Folks be trusting cruises.
Right. Oh.
Man, I tell you, I think, remember, it's not necessarily a trust. It's a I expect and I hope.
I expect and I hope.
Somebody
hope is not a plan.
Listen, Lab. They were like, hey, they asked me, hey, you want to go on this cruise with me this summer? I was like, I'll pray about it and think on it. Hey, man, I didn't give them no yes or no answer. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She might have to go on that thing by herself.
Huh?
Hey, man, you know, I just don't desire that. I don't desire to be.
It's not something that's in your will. Something that's on your bucket list.
In positions where I gotta trust that. You see? Now, here's the thing. I didn't necessarily say I don't trust the crew.
Right.
I ain't necessarily saying I don't trust the boat.
Right.
But how you trust the ocean? And how do you trust weather? That's all I want to know.
The same way you trust the highway and the car next to you driving down
No,
the
no,
highway.
no. I say how you trust the ocean.
Right.
And how do you trust the weather, right? Now the ocean, how many times we been on that? According to how many times you've been on the highway.
Okay.
I haven't even been on it enough to know how to gain any kind of trust or what's gonna happen, what that dip mean, what that roll mean, what that sound mean, what that mist coming off of me, whatever the hell it is that be happening out there in the ocean. I ain't been out there long enough to know. I've been on the highway.
And when it's dark outside, you don't know what's going on. You can't see your hand in front of your face in that ocean.
I know what happened when it's too much rain that puddle up on the highway. I know what happened when it's black ice on the highway. You see what I'm saying? Things like that. I know what happened if it's cracks in the foundation, what could possibly happen. But out there in that ocean, especially even when weather start happening, I don't know what's gonna happen in the ocean then. I know what'll happen with some of the weather on what you just said, these highways and things. So with that being said, I guess I could trust that a little bit more. With, you know what I'm saying, that I could trust being out there somewhere on the Pacific or the Atlantic, the Pacific Ocean, as they say. The Pacific or the Atlantic or whatever, man. But anything you want, any last things you got, on trust before we get up out of here?
I just think trust is just how you want to implement it, who you want to implement it to, whatever noun you want to implement trust to. That's what you have to do.
And make sure they earn it though, and it's mainly through actions, because we said it could be through the words later on, but it's definitely got to be how they acting. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that's a good display. If you can see by what someone's doing versus by what they saying, you can feel that more than just hearing that. Hearing something, you don't feel it as much. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless you just sensitive to what people say. But when somebody doing something that you can feel that's going to hit home, because that's something that's probably going to be beneficial to you.
That's right. So trust is a commodity. Use it as a commodity. Easy to gain. Easy to lose, but hard to gain. There you go.
With that being said, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday. Holla.
Yeah. Grams of leaders of CCs, pounds, close caps, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up, cutting something host up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates for them folk that can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in them trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly through your vein. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune in, leaders of it, close up, pounds of it.